Hey guys, I hope we're doing well. When does it become a problem? That's what I'm going to talk about today. And this could apply to alcohol, cocaine, porn addiction, or if you're like I was, all of them. When does it overstep that mark between something you may engage in the odd time to becoming a serious problem in your life? And I'm going to talk through that a little bit and the progression of it. Firstly, I'd say it's when you find the costs start increasing. This could be from a financial perspective, especially if something like cocaine is involved. Might at first been something you do every few months, but all of a sudden it's once a week, and maybe half your rent money is starting to go on that. Can happen very quickly and easy. The time you're giving to these behaviours and addictions may start to increase. Weekends all of a sudden start to disappear. You have to stay in bed late on a weekend just to recover from the night before because you've been up all night. And this leads into consequences. For me, that's when it really started to become a problem. When it started impacting other areas of my life. Financially, it's quite an obvious one, and I'm sure people watching this will be able to relate to that. Addiction catches up with you financially very, very quickly, especially if something like cocaine's involved. Debt, credit cards, God knows what, all to fund the addiction. Other consequences could be job, becoming unreliable to people. But that can start really slowly. It did for me. Maybe I'd cancel a client, not often, just the odd time. And then slowly over time, I started cancelling a lot of clients. And people started to sort of notice a bit of a pattern. What is wrong? Used to be running the business smoothly, no problems. And slowly over time, I became very unreliable to people. And that's not something I liked at all. I pride myself now on being, if I'm going to turn up for something, an appointment, I'm there. I don't cancel on people. And that was something that massively impacted my business, that becoming unreliable, untrustworthy. Consequences of addiction starting to leak into other areas of your life. And no one thinks about that when they start with something like cocaine, going on benders. No one thinks, it's going to impact all these areas of your life. And in the end, for me, there wasn't one single area it didn't impact. So financially, business was gone in the end because I was totally off the rails and unreliable. Health, it will start to impact. It might be something, the consequences don't creep up for a while. But over time, if you're regularly using cocaine, alcohol, especially going on, a couple of day benders, you're gonna start to look terrible physically after a few months of that. Tired, worn out. That is just the nature of it, and you don't realise it at the time. I remember people towards the end of my addiction saying how unwell that I looked. Again, consequences comes under health. You're not aware of it because you're so wrapped up with addiction. Integrity as a person. The longer you're stuck in addiction, behaviour becomes more erratic and high risk, and you can really end up getting yourself in serious trouble. I'm very, very fortunate that I just about got myself clean and sober before I landed myself into some serious bother, and that is another consequence, I feel, of using those type of drugs. Could be behaviours as well, but you don't act with any integrity at all. So these are the points I would say when addiction, behaviours, could be a behavioural problem, are starting to become very problematic and impact your life. And the scary thing is with it, it doesn't happen instantly. It's very slow over time. It could be a couple of years, could be longer, but slowly over time, a lot of these things that I've mentioned do start to happen. So guys, if any of this stuff does resonate at all, please leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to be posting content twice a week, talking about addiction recovery, sharing my own journey, and helping others along the way. That's why I started this channel. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a great week.